Did you know that educational research show 41% of class 12 students have major misconception about basics of genetics? That means almost half of you are struggling with chapters like molecular basis of inheritance and principles of inheritance and variation. I receive calls every week from worried students and parents. Just like last week, a student told me, "Ma'am, when I read the inheritance chapter, it feels like I'm reading an alien language." And his mother added, "Asha ji, this chapter is impossible to understand. Please tell us an easy way method." Don't worry. Hello, students. I'm Mrs. Asha Bansal, a biology educator with over 40 years of teaching experience and a former CBSE evaluator. Today, I'll not only explain why this happens, but I will also simplify the hardest part of heredity so you never forget it. Let's solve this problem permanently. Let's be honest. Why do students really struggle with biology? After decades of teaching, I have identified three main problems. First, what you call alien language. When you read molecular basis of inheritance, you encounter words like transcription, translation, capping, and tailing. You wonder what they are. These are the technical terms, and if you do not understand the process behind them, your brain simply switches off. Research confirms that technical vocabulary is the biggest barrier in science subjects. Second fear is the diagram fear. In chapters like human reproduction or sexual reproduction in the flowering plants, students try to memorize diagrams without understanding the flow. I always tell my students a diagram is a visual story. If you don't know the story, you will get confused. You will confuse with anther and the filament or the fallopian tube with the uterus every single time. And the third problem is the rote learning trap. Many students try to memorize evolution or microbes in the human welfare like a phone directory. No, my dear students, no. This microbe does this, that bacteria does that. This is not the way. But the moment the CBSE paper asks an application based question, they get stuck. You cannot mug up biology, you have to understand the concept. So, what is the practical solution? After guiding thousands of students, here is my simple three-step formula to master organisms and population, genetics, and everything in between. Step one is NCERT is non negotiable. If you analyze the last 5 years of CBSE papers, you will find that 90% of the questions are directly from NCERT. Every time, every diagram, every line, every box at the end of the chapter is important. Do not rely on bulky reference books until you have finished your NCERT thoroughly. Step 2, the daily diagram hack. For human health and diseases or biotechnology and its application, draw rough diagrams daily. It takes only 5 minutes. Draw the structure of an antibody, draw the steps of PCR. Research shows that when you draw and label, your brain creates a visual memory and you are 50% less likely to forget it during the exam. Step 3, create comparison tables. Students find microbes in human welfare difficult because there are so many names, that to the biological names. My simple advice, make a table. Column 1, write the microbe name. Column 2, write product or their role. And column 3 is for their use in the human welfare. This turns a confusing chapter into a simple revision sheet. Now, conquering the giant heredity and applications, inheritance. Now let us tackle the biggest fear head on: principles of inheritance and variation. This chapter alone carries nearly 20 marks in your board exams. When students see a dihybrid cross ratio 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1, they panic. They think it is advanced mathematics. Let us remove this fear with a simple real life example. I tell my students genetics is simply a game of probability, like tossing a coin. Imagine you have two coins. Coin A decides if the plant is tall, capital T, or short, small t. Coin B decides if the seed is yellow, capital Y, or green, small y. Now, when you toss both the coins together, the chance of getting tall and yellow is the highest, that is your 9 in the ratio. The chance of getting short and green is the lowest, that is 1 in your ratio. The other two combinations give you 3 and 3. That is all the 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1 ratio is. It is not magic, it is simply the probability of different combinations. And for the molecular basis of inheritance, think of your DNA as a library. Replication is like making a photocopy of the entire book. Transcription is like writing down just one important chapter, that is your messenger RNA. Translation is like using that chapter to actually cook a dish, that is your protein. See, when you visualize it, the fear simply disappears and you conquer. As a former CBSE evaluator, let me give you a final secret that can instantly boost your marks. If the question is from ecosystem or biodiversity and conservation, and you are unsure of the written answer, draw the ecological pyramid. If the question is from biotechnology and its application, draw a simple flow chart of the gene cloning process. A neat, well labeled diagram can fetch you at least 30% of the marks, even if your theory is not perfect. Remember, biology is not about memorizing, it is about understanding the beautiful science of life. The fear you feel for evolution or reproductive health will vanish the moment you start connecting it to the world around you. You have the potential to score more than 95%. You just need the right strategy and you have to build up your confidence. Thank you, students, for watching Asha Bansal's Science Concept Academy and classes. Keep studying, keep shining.